Hey guys, check it out. You're watching Jonathan Clarke on YouTube. Oh no! The thing I love about the holidays every year is I have the chance to come home, sit in front of this camera, and meet thousands of people who feel inspired by every video that I've ever uploaded about Descendants and Zombies, because I consider this an honor. I also look at this as a privilege, to record videos about your thoughts about Descendants and Zombies and share it with everybody, who are fans also of Descendants and Zombies, and perhaps bigger fans than you have ever been about whatever you talk about on your YouTube channel. Because one of the greatest gifts in the world is understanding your audience for who they are and who and what they love. And if you can understand that your audience loves Descendants and Zombies more than anything else in this world, then you have struck gold. And when you strike gold with Descendants and Zombies fans, they will love you for forever, for just sitting in front of your camera and telling everybody how you feel and what you think is going to happen next for people like Red and Chloe, or Zed and Addison, or Nova and Victor. They just want to hear you tell the story over and over again. One of my favorite Disney movies that was animated was Bolt back in 2009. It was one of Miley Cyrus's first ever animated movies. And she looked at it as an opportunity to really broaden her horizons. But the thing about Bolt was, because of Bolt's story, everybody very quickly fell in love with the Bolt story. The script, the characters, I think everybody loved the hamster, and it was predicted the hamster would go on to have his own movie as a follow-up to Bolt. But the thing was, everybody fell in love with Bolt because of just how beautiful the story was and how passionate everybody was who brought that story to life about it. And I think everybody feels the same way about Descendants because these iconic fairy tale characters have been represented in so many emphatic ways. No matter if we're talking about Alice in Wonderland, Cinderella, we all have a favorite character or a favorite moment that has made us a fan of Descendants and Zombies. And I have just wanted to honor those moments from the very first video that I ever showed up in. Many of you may remember me years ago from being the host of various other YouTube programs and YouTube channels that were talking about various different niches that probably never made a whole lot of sense to a whole lot of people. I was a professional wrestling podcast host many years ago, and I used to talk a lot about professional sports, and then I moved in from that to movies, to video games, and a whole lot of things that I was talking about never really made a whole lot of sense until I discovered the passion that everybody had in their hearts for Descendants and Zombies, and I just wanted to honor that, and I wanted to be a part of it more than anything else in the world. There is no place in the world I would rather be than having the honor to sit in front of this camera every day for the rest of my life, even if that's what that means, to upload videos for Descendants and Zombies, because it had everything to do with how people were drawing my attention to these beautiful characters that were represented by Kylie Cantrell, Malia Baker, Ruby Rose Turner, who I can't tell you guys enough how much I miss being a part of the Descendants franchise. Because ever since Ruby Rose Turner took to social media and announced her parting ways with the Descendants franchise and that she was moving on from the franchise after her time with the franchise, I believed, had been very short-lived, I was heartbroken over it because I've missed Ruby Rose Turner more than I've missed any Descendants character who has ever been a part of this franchise. I mean, everybody had a beautiful story in the Descendants franchise. There was no denial ever coming from me about that because I felt very passionate about characters that Sophia Kirsten and Dove Cameron had played many years ago, and I still feel very passionate about them, and I still believe that their stories are far from being told and completed because Descendants pretty much is an open book, and the possibilities of storylines and chapters that could be introduced into this franchise are really endless, because if you even believe in the slightest possibility of anything happening for Descendants and Zombies, I think that whoever you are, from wherever you may be watching this video or hearing my voice this morning, I think that you should hold on to that belief because everybody has a chance in believing in Descendants and Zombies, and everybody deserves to believe in a new chapter. Everybody believes that things like Descendants 6 will happen because I believe we will get to a point where Descendants 6 will happen, and conveniently enough, there are already rumors circulating online floating around about Descendants 6 currently being in development over at Disney, and we have no confirmation on that, but I did see an X post on, I believe, Alex Cantrell's social media X account where he was saying that Descendants 6 is currently in development at Disney. There is no official word on Descendants 6 being in development, but the thing that you got to understand is when they introduce new characters into a franchise such as Descendants, like Pink, played by Liamani Segura, with how much of a reputation Liamani Segura has early on in her career, don't you believe that Pink's story is so much more detailed than we already know about, and there's so much more to know about Pink? And to be honest with you guys, I'm really excited to see what part of her role will be in the Descendants franchise. And I think we should give more of a chance to these new characters more than ever before. We're seeing characters from Princess and the Frog and Encanto, which were musicals that I was very fond of. I was very fond of the Princess and the Frog musical. I always loved New Orleans every night when I would see the sky lit up in New Orleans, and I was very appreciative of the New Orleans musicals that would happen there every year and the Mardi Gras celebrations they would have. And I was really honored to have the chance to review Princess and the Frog many years ago, as I was every project Disney ever had the chance to really promote and really put in front of us. Because I think Disney has had all these concepts that they pretty much just put in front of us, and they wait to find out how we're going to respond to these concepts. And when we finally do respond to a concept like Descendants and we blow it up, I mean, the possibilities are really endless, because that's exactly what we did for Descendants. We blew this concept up, and we believed in this story more than we had believed in anything ever more in our lives. And I think we've held on to that belief that chapter after chapter could happen for Descendants of Zombies, because the one thing that I will give you guys a profound amount of respect for every single time, and acknowledgement for because of, is how dedicated you guys are to Descendants of Zombies. Many of you even go as far as to search up how to draw your favorite Descendants of Zombies characters. And you know something? That shows that you guys have all the talent in the world. And you guys deserve to put that talent on display, and you guys deserve to honor your favorite Descendants stars and all these moments that have truly made you a fan of the Descendants of Zombies from the very beginning. Because I love when I see people being very passionate about all these moments that have made them fans of Descendants of Zombies and all these characters. If you feel very passionate about wanting to learn how to draw your favorite Descendants of Zombies characters, the Descendants of Zombies merch, then I want you to continue to follow your passions. Because the greatest honor in my life is knowing that I created a video that would inspire people who are fans of Descendants of Zombies and made them believers out of this franchise more than ever before. If you are somebody, I just want to take a moment to say this, if you are somebody who has never taken a chance on Descendants of Zombies and its beautiful characters ever before in your life, I would like to invite you to become a fan of Descendants of Zombies and take a chance on this franchise more than anything else in your life, because I promise you, you will not regret it. If you allow me to be your voice of Descendants of Zombies and tell you this story, if I haven't already told it, over 1,000 times, I promise I will do right by you every single time, and I will continue to celebrate this franchise with every single person who has ever believed in these franchises so much over the last 10 years. Because everybody was so excited about the premiere of Descendants. If I can flash you back to 2015. I was sitting at home one night. I had seen the promos leading up to the premiere of Descendants. Nobody ever really knew what to make sense of Descendants of Zombies, what this was going to come to be. All we knew was that it was a story focusing on the sons and the daughters of these Disney villains that had gone on to achieve so much rarity. But never before so much rarity had been achieved by Disney villains like Maleficent, and Cruella de Vil, and Ursula until the VK kids showed up in Ordon. And having the chance to attend Ordon Prep allowed them to learn so many things so quickly. And along with garnering respect and earning a reputation for themselves unlike anything that we had ever witnessed before. And through the powerful music and the presentation of this through an action-adventure musical, this blew up. And we can compare this to any musicals that we want, because I've heard the comparisons being made between Wicked and Harry Potter and how this felt like a Harry Potter kind of musical. And I can kind of relate to people and how they felt about that, because I attended the Harry Potter midnight premiere at the movie theater years ago when Harry Potter was a crazy obsession by everybody. I know how crazy everybody was about Harry Potter. So I used to go see midnight premieres of Harry Potter, even Godzilla years ago. So I know what it's like to be a fan of Harry Potter. And I know what it's like to be crazy about the Harry Potter cookbooks and the Harry Potter recipes. So I can understand why people would make this comparison. Although I have forever and always believed that Descendants belongs in a category of its own, because there is no comparison that anyone should ever make when it comes to Descendants of Zombies, because it stands in a category and a class of its own. Because it has everything to do, I'm going to tell you why it has everything to do with standing in a class of its own. It has everything to do with how much respect these characters have had for each and every one of you, how much they've wanted to make you feel as if you're a part of something special, and how they each have an individual story that has forever and always yet remained to be told. And I, for one, am incredibly excited to be a part of that story and to share that story with each and every one of you, because you don't really believe that the story of Ruby Rose Turner's character Bridget has been told and completed in just one installment of Descendants, in just one chapter. I mean, you can't honestly tell me that you couldn't have found something for Ruby Rose Turner to do in present-day Wonderland. Even if the first 10 minutes of the movie was used to set up for, how Ruby Rose Turner's character Bridget comes back, has something to do with present-day Wonderland and the Kingdom Cup games having found their way into Ordon Prep, which makes for an exciting plot for the Descendants franchise, along with all the consequences of time travel that have forever and yet remained to be seen in the Descendants franchise, because one can't expect to alter the fabric of time and never get away with it and expect consequences. Because if I myself was to alter the fabric of time, for sure I would expect consequences, because how do we alter the future? How did we change the future? How did we change our own individual lives? I'm pretty thankful that we can't go back in time and really change our future, because I think a lot of us would scope it out the way that we wanted it to and probably regret it in the end. And we'd probably be afraid of what the future had in store, because as the old analogy goes, you're never afraid of the dark, you're just afraid of what you can't see. So because we can't see the future, it makes for a lot of uncertain times in our lives. We're more uncertain than ever before of some of the decisions we make, so I'm pretty thankful that we can't go back in time and change it. But having said that, if I could go back in time, I probably would surround myself with more people who have loved me, that I've loved, that I've wanted to say I love you to more, that I've wanted to spend more time with, just to let people know how I truly felt about them. Because if there was one moment that I could experience all over again, it would be having the honor to meet each and every one of you. And I know there are people who upload videos about Descendants and Zombies every single day to YouTube. But you know what the greatest honor of ever uploading a video about Descendants and Zombies is? It's not just talking about Descendants and Zombies for a global audience who may have never seen your voice or seen you ever before in their lives. It is having the chance to meet each and every one of you and get to know you for being fans of Descendants and Zombies, because so many of you are passionate about Descendants and Zombies in so many different ways. So many of you are passionate about Descendants and Zombies recipes, which I've never heard tell of in my life. Some of you are passionate about drawing your favorite Descendants characters. Some of you are passionate about the Halloween costumes. And I know this because every year since I've been living here, there's been somebody show up at my door dressed up as a Descendants character who has left me inspired, who has sent me behind my laptop or my computer that I just invested in for this YouTube channel, and searching up everything that I could get to know about your favorite Descendants and Zombies characters, because if there was something to know, I wanted to know about it to share in with each and every one of you. Like, I never knew that Ruby Rose Turner was addicted to sugar or allergic to sugar. I never knew that Kylie Contrell was so emotional until I did all this research about her. And you know something? After finding out things like Ruby Rose Turner was allergic to sugar and Kylie Contrell was so emotional, I gained a greater appreciation for them and what they may be going through and maybe what they had to deal with, because nobody really understands them better than they do themselves. And I think a lot of people have chosen to criticize people like Kylie Contrell because of her emotions being triggered, how she's been made to feel because of her performances, because I really believe there is no room for criticism in any conversation having anything to do with your favorite Descendants and Zombie stars, and more of a chance should be taken on than ever before. Because I'll be honest with each and every one of you, I really do believe that people like Ruby Rose Turner are beautiful people. And I really do believe that more of a chance should be taken on them than ever before. For those of you who are following the Tangled live-action remake, the reboot of it, whatever you want to call it, apparently McKenna Grace has been casted to play Rapunzel in the live-action Tangled. And I was very disappointed about that, because I was really looking forward to Ruby Rose Turner being casted as Rapunzel and having the chance to really run away with one of her dream characters to play in a live-action. I say this because I feel as if your favorite Descendants and Zombie stars have never been given the opportunities they've deserved for forever, because when you think about somebody like Meg Donnelly from Zombies fame, I mean, she's always wanted to be a part of musicals, and it's only now that she's having the opportunity to actually be a part of a musical that she's actually wanted to be a part of all of her lifetime, and the Zombie stars are coming out to support her by the unison. So, having said that, I think that Descendants and Zombies is really just one way of looking at a person's career and just how much they've wanted to be involved in each and every one of our lives. I mean, they've always had a dream of wanting to be in front of a camera, forgetting about the pressure that goes with being in front of a camera 24 hours of a 24-hour day for your favorite stars like Kylie Contrell and Freya Sky and what have you. They've always had a dream of being in front of a camera. So give them the opportunity to actually be in front of that camera and see what they can do with it, because I think the possibilities are really endless when it comes to your favorite Descendants and Zombie stars. There is so much of a chance for them to create. There's so much of a chance for them to reintroduce themselves. And I think that the more love and support that we show for people like Freya and Kylie all the time, then we can have better conversations about them and we can feel more confident in how we feel about them. Because there are way too many people who who are uploading videos about Kali Cantrell and Freya Sky that really have never made any sense to me because they don't really know anything about Freya Sky. I have even seen in some of the music videos that Freya Sky has uploaded to Vivo how people are saying they've never ever seen this or heard from this artist ever before in their life. So the thing is, if you're somebody who has never heard Freya Sky's music or never heard about her before in your life, I highly recommend that you take a chance on Freya, because when you do take a chance on Freya, I promise you, even if it's just one song that becomes your favorite from Freya Sky, you will fall in love with Freya Sky, and it will all have everything to do with how you took a chance on her. Because when you do take a chance on people like Kali Cantrell and Freya Sky, you will never look back, and you will never have any regrets. You will follow on through with every dream that you ever wanted to become a reality for you in your own life. Because I think years ago, people believed in Taylor Swift too much. And I say that people believed in Taylor Swift too much is because everybody was so crazy about Taylor Swift. Everybody just wanted to take a chance on Taylor Swift more than anybody else in the world because she was a trend. There was a lot of novelty that was associated with Taylor Swift. And even now, people are falling in love with Taylor Swift from the very first moment they lay eyes on her, because it's almost as if Taylor Swift is still being introduced to people even 15 years into her career. I mean, everybody was so crazy about Taylor Swift, the Taylor Swift hoodies, everybody was a Swiftie. I myself was a Swiftie years ago, but I very quickly grew out of it because I believed that it got to a point where Taylor Swift pretty much was taking away the spotlight from people like Kali Cantrell and Ruby Rose Turner, people who deserved the spotlight and deserved more of a chance to be talked about. Because, to be honest with you guys, there is no place in the world I would rather be than having the chance to sit in front of this microphone every day for the rest of my life and talk with you about Descendants and Zombies, because we still have such a long way to go, and we have so much to be excited about for that foreseeable future when it comes to Descendants and Zombie stars. And that's why you guys have taken a chance on this YouTube channel, and you've made me the voice of Descendants and Zombies, which is an honor that I wish more YouTube creators would take themselves up on the opportunity to become, because once you become the voice of Descendants and Zombies, what happens is more people become fans of Descendants and Zombies who have never taken a chance on Descendants and Zombies ever before. This is so fun to have the chance to sit in front of this microphone and record so many wonderful videos about Descendants and Zombies and to tell people how you really feel about Descendants and Zombies. Because the reality of this is, while people will choose to close the book on Descendants and Zombies way too soon and far too early, I think there is more of a chance to be had on your favorite stars. There's more of a chance to take on them, and there's more fun yet to be had because there's so much more of a story yet to experience. I mean, we don't even know what's going to happen in Descendants 6, but that doesn't mean that we're not excited for Descendants 6 to happen or Zombies 5 to happen, even though there are so many rumors related to the release window that's being suggested for Zombies 5. But regardless of when or how Zombies 5 comes to be, Zombies 5 is going to be a beautiful story. It's going to present us with an opportunity to get to know these characters more than ever before. We already know their friendship is beautiful. We already know that we're a part of something special, but how much more speciality is going to be dedicated to the story between Victor and Nova, and how much more can we bring this one to life? I think it's all about heart, and how much heart we've carried with us for being fans of Descendants and Zombies. And if we believe that things like Zombies 5 and Descendants 5 with Wonderland is going to be the best thing that we've ever had a chance to be a part of and really experience, I think the more of a chance we take on this franchise, the more of an opportunity we're going to be presented with as fans. Because to be honest with you guys, man, if I could go back in time and experience this all over again, I wouldn't a heartbeat just to have the chance to meet all of you all over again and to support people like Kali Cantrell and Freya Sky, because we can never seem to support them more than enough. I think that the more that we fall in love with these characters, the more of a chance can be taken on them, and the more they have yet to accomplish, and that's pretty much why I'm here. I'm here to ensure the legacies of your favorite stars go down in history for being some of the greatest ever, and I'm just here to have fun while talking about your favorite stars and sharing in all these moments with each and every one of you. Because each of us have a reason for being a fan of Descendants and Zombies. Each of us have a reason for feeling inspired and drawing as much inspiration as we have from these characters. From the very first moment I saw Dove Cameron play a character like Mal, I will admit to each and every one of you, she was very different. She was a very different take on what a Disney villain's daughter could be. or could amount to. And ever since her portrayal of Mal, I think Mal really set the Descendants franchise on fire, and everybody very quickly fell in love with what that character represented. And then came Kylie Contrell as Red, and then came Malia Baker as Chloe Charming, and then came Ruby Buzz Turner as Bridget, and we fell even more in love with these characters, and we've been in love with these characters ever since. But you know something? As much as many people will try to convince us on YouTube that this story is over and been told and completed, I want you guys, if you take anything away from every video that I've ever had the chance of uploading on this beautiful Saturday morning on a winter's morning, to believe that this story is far from over and that we still have a long way to go. If you have not subscribed to this YouTube channel, you're probably going to want to think about doing that, because I have a lot to say where Descendants and Zombies goes, and I will share with you my opinion throughout this beautiful Saturday morning on this beautiful winter's morning. I have nowhere else to be, so I can't think of a better place to be than by sitting in front of this microphone and for you guys to spend your Saturday afternoon with Jonathan Clarke on YouTube. But because of you, more people on YouTube know who Jonathan Clarke is. So because more people on YouTube know who Jonathan Clarke is, I can't think of a better way to spend the rest of my life than by uploading videos about Descendants and Zombies, because these two franchises have forever and always deserved to be honored. And I look forward to honoring it with each and every one of you, because this story is far from over and we still have a long way to go. Thank you guys so much for spending your Saturday and your weekend with Jonathan Clarke on YouTube, because we still have a long way to go with these franchises, and I'm just excited to be a part of it. Thank you so much for having watched this video.